Hi there. Am I audible to all of you? If yes, then comment plus sign. Okay. Um, my name is Pranjal Srivastav, and I would like to welcome all of you to this live session on DevOps. So, before heading towards this live session, I would also like to introduce myself. My name is Pranjal. I am self-taught developer and content creator. I have authored more than 70 plus courses on multiple e-learning platforms, taught more than 2 lakh students, and covered areas or technologies like DevOps, machine learning, then you know, cloud, machine learning, data science, and much more. So here in this live session, we're going to discuss on DevOps. Okay, are you excited? Yeah. Thank you, Patil Prasad, Omkar Chogle. Okay, thank you, Dominic Kripronov. Okay, so here we go. So it is very much important to know that what exactly the DevOps is before heading towards why DevOps is required. Okay, so yeah, so as you can see in this word DevOps, it is a combination of two words, development and the operations. Okay, so in the development, where we have team which will going to develop anything, it could be app, it could be a car, it could be anything. Whereas the operation is like to maintain the product which is ready now. Okay, to monitor the product, how it's working and how. Okay, so in DevOps, it actually solves a problem which we were facing while having the traditional model of development, where we firstly collect all the requirements, then we develop our code, and then it will deploy it. Okay, but here the problem is that there is no feedback options available. There is no option for monitoring. But this problem is solved by this DevOps. Here, both the team, development team and the operation team, work together, okay, and solves the problem which we were facing while using the traditional model of software development. Okay, so I will ask a question: how many uh, has already used or have this term heard DevOps, as DevOps is buzzword these days? Have you ever heard this term, the DevOps term? Yeah. Okay. So many of the has replied the yeah, which simply means it is very much popular. Now, I will also say that DevOps is very much, the most demanding skill set, which I think you must have. It doesn't matter which background you come from. Either you love machine learning or, web development, front end development, or Android developer. If you are working on a big project, you need this DevOps. DevOps is not a tool set, it's not a software, it's not a programming language. Basically, DevOps is a philosophy. Okay. I will also say that you can apply this philosophy into your life as well. Okay, so because here you need to have a plan for your life, then you will going to continuous improve, and then whatever feedback you're coming from the outsiders, you're going to improve yourself. So I will say that not apply this DevOps things into your uh, into doing a software development or whatever. You also apply this DevOps into your life. Okay, even you have also heard about agile thing. Okay, agile is a very much important because it offers you to become more flexible. It doesn't matter that what you have decided and you have just built it. It is very much important that what customer needed. So whatever feedback you are coming getting, you need to work on it. And that's why you have seen this, that the DevOps has a symbol of infinity, which simply means continuous improvement. Okay, and in the continuous improvement, as you can see that there are some steps involved in this different phases of DevOps. Okay, let me show you how it looks like the first phase is the plan. Okay, where you're going to collect the information, like whatever you want to build. Okay, then we have code, where the development team writes a code from the scratch. It can use any programming language like Python, which I use generally, or it can be Java or React. Okay, then we have build tool, comprises of like Maven, Gradle, where you're going to actually build your tool, build your application, and then we're going to test that whatever features which we have created into our application, it is working fine or not. Okay, and then we have release, that whatever which we have created, the developer which they will build, they're going to push it into somewhere. Okay, so it can be either GitHub repository, or it can be any repository located into AWS or Azure cloud. Okay, then we have deploy, where the operation teams come into the picture, where they're going to deploy the whatever application you have created, either on the on-premise server, which we are did in older days, or these days people are much interested into deploying the application into cloud. Okay, so we're going to in the operation team, we're going to deploy the application which developer team has built into cloud. Okay, then we have operate. So whatever application which you have created, now it is deployed. The thing is, it is running fine or not. Okay, it is running a smooth way or not. Then we have this operate thing. So with the help of operate, there are many tools which are involved here in this particular operate phase, which is Kubernetes, for example, which will going to manage the multiple containers. Yeah, the new term is striking here, container, which I'm going to discuss in the later part. But for till now, understand this operate is like to operate your application. Okay, then we have the another phase, which is monitor. In monitor, what we basically do is to monitor how our application is running. Okay, if something went wrong, like suppose your container is not running well in somewhere, then it will going to raise an alert, and this alert will you know help us to remove that particular problem. Okay, so this is the life cycle of DevOps, where you can see it starts with plan, then code, build, test, release, deploy, operate, and monitor. Okay, let me give a simple example how it looks like in the real world. Okay, so let me open my Paint. Before it, let me ask, uh, are you getting what I'm saying? Like, if you got any kind of problem, you can ask me in the comment section. I will also going to reply all your clear all your doubts. Okay, and yeah, let me open the Paint and show you how it works in the real life. Now suppose here use developer is there, which will going to push a code into repository with the help of Git. Okay, Git is very much important tool, which you must know at least, because Git is the standard. Like whatever you write a code, you need to use this Git. Okay, Git is very much important because through Git you can track your code, you can manage your code into a repository which is GitHub repository. With the help of Git, we will going to push our code into the GitHub repository, or you can push your code even in uh, code commit, which is the option offered by AWS. Okay, so these are different repository which you can use, and with this repository you can push your code here. Okay, after this, we're going to uh, pack our code into form of containers. Okay, and we're going to do this with the help of Docker. So what exactly Docker is and what is container, let me explain you as this as well. uh, Container is like you're going to pack your application into a container, into an image with the specifying that what are the things required to run your application. Okay, so let me show you that what image will going to look like. This is your app, and it contains a Docker file which specifies that what are the requirements which is required for your application to run successfully. Okay, so this is the image, and with the help of this Docker we're going to able to build this custom Docker image, and then we're going to push it into our application. Okay, because with the help of Docker there's no need to install anything else, because you are running your container. Okay, and inside your container your application is running up. Okay, so after you pushes the code into Git, then GitHub and Docker, now we have another tool which is Kubernetes. Kubernetes is very much important because as if you're working on a small scale, then there's no need to use this Kubernetes. But in case if you have multiple containers, then how are you going to manage it? as you know, this the world is evolving, the internet is evolving. Now many new architecture is now, it is in use now. The no monolithic system is using. We are going to use the microservices, where lots of, we break down our code into small, bunches, small snippets, okay, small format. So we're going to use Kubernetes, because there will be a lot of image will be there, a lot of containers will be running. So in order to manage and control the performance of our container, the performance of our app, we're going to use Kubernetes. The next option which we're going to have is the AWS cloud, or the Azure, or you can say GCP. These are the three most popular cloud providers, and clouds are very much popular these days because it provides the functionalities like scalability, the elasticity, pay you as you go model. So with the help of this cloud, we're going to deploy our app here into this AWS. Okay. Now, in order to monitor that how our application is running, we're going to use bunch of tools like Prometheus, then Grafana, or Nagios. These are popular tools which are used in generally to monitor our application. So as I discussed that we have some different phases which is involved into the DevOps, like plan, code, build, test, release, deploy, operate, and monitor. I have discussed some of the tools which you can fit hit here. As a DevOps, you do not need to understand each and everything. Like there's no need to be become expert in any programming language. It is good that you have knowledge of programming language, but it is not required to become a expert into that particular programming languages, because the role of the DevOps engineer is to uh, manage the things. It's not to build the things. Okay, like for building the things we have the developer team, for operating the things we have system admins, IT operators. We are the people which help us to collaborate developers and operation teams. Okay, so for planning the things, like you can use Kanban, which is also available in Git, or you can use Asana for planning the things. Then for code, you can write your code any using your programming language like Java, Python. Okay, then we have build, which I have already told. Then for testing the things, we can use Selenium, which is very much popular in order to you do unit testing. Okay, then there's JUnit for Java programming language. The release, this is the heart of DevOps. Okay, and here basically it comes the CI and CD. CI means continuous integration, and then CD means continuous delivery. So suppose, uh, let me open this Paint again. Now suppose you want to add a new feature into your application. Okay, now you have pushed that changes into your Git, and it is now there into GitHub repository. So either you can use the GitHub action, or you can use the CI/CD. So whatever they do, so whatever changes you made, so firstly they will go through the process of CI, which is continuous integration. So they will put all those changes into a repository. Then they will going to build your application once again and test all the cases, the functionalities of your application, it is working fine or not. Once it is done, then the CD part will begin. CD means continuous deployment. So whatever changes you are making into your repository, it is actually going into the production on, automatically, because the future of DevOps is to automate the things. Okay, so once you did some changes, so it will going to, deliver it into your production. Okay, so this the CI/CD is the heart of DevOps. I hope you are understanding what I'm saying. If you have any kind of doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Okay, Patil want to ask something about Kubernetes. Okay, let me explain you. uh, Kubernetes basically it's a container orchestration tool. Okay, with the help of container orchestration tool, as I told you before, you can manage your containers. Okay, so like if you want to manage your containers, uh, let me show you with a simple example so that you can easily understand. Uh, as I said, the CI/CD is the heart of DevOps. The pod in Kubernetes is the heart of Kubernetes cluster. Now suppose this is a hotel. Okay, and this hotel has different rooms. Okay, now in this rooms we can have a bed, we can have, you know stuffs which is present in the room. and it has a room number as well. Let's suppose it is room number 1, this is room number 2, this is room number 3, and this is the room number 4. Now let me put an analogy with the Kubernetes example. Like the hotel is a basically the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, and the rooms which I have suggested here are going to act as a pod. Okay, and this pod will going to contain multiple containers. Either you can put one container or you can put multiple containers up there. Okay, so and as all the rooms has a unique room number, in the same way, if you want to communicate with the pods which is running into your Kubernetes cluster, will going to have unique IP address, and the storage will be there, which is will be common between them. Okay, so with the help of Kubernetes, what we basically doing is, if something bad happened to this pod 1, so what we're going to do is to rerun this. Okay, another pod will going to run is okay, and so it going to provide the functionality of higher availability, you can say, or you can say self-healing. Okay, and this is very much important, because if you are having multiple containers, like suppose one container is running your application, and in one container it is running your database. Okay, and in case your database pod is not running, so it is very much important to run your database. So in that way, we're going to use Kubernetes, which will going to take care of this stuff. There's no need a person to to see each and everything. Kubernetes will going to take care of it. It will going to rerun your application. Now suppose uh, the thing which, when you started working on Kubernetes, you have 100 containers, but day by day your application is growing, and the number of containers again increasing. So what we're going to do, it will going to use the option of replica to replicate your pod. Okay, so it will going to manage your traffic which is coming around, or in case if the traffic is low, so it will going to decrease the number or replica as well. So this is how Kubernetes work in general. Okay, so now let me explain other things as well, like ah why DevOps. So the topic, the main agenda of today's lesson is why DevOps. Okay, so like with the help of DevOps, what we are achieving, we are achieving the speed. Okay, in traditional model, what we are facing the problem that there was no collaboration was there between development team and the operation team. Okay, there was a problem they were facing. The developer team thinks that operator teams are free, or operation teams thinks that developer teams are always free. So there is miscommunication is always there. But with the help of DevOps, there is this, some collaboration between with these two teams. So it removes the gap between these two teams, and with that it also increases the speed of the creating your application and operating as well at the same time. It becomes it has increased the productivity, you can say, of the team, and also increase the efficiency. So the company needs those things, like which will going to increase the efficiency of their company, also saves their time, also saves their money. So if you're going to see that DevOps is very much important, because it is saving them time, because there will be no confusion between both the teams. It is also saving money as well, because if you there will be a proper feedback will be going on, so you can do the changes on the real time basis. Okay, so it also saves a lot of resources as well. That's why the DevOps is in a huge demand. Okay, you must know some of the tools which I have discussed. It doesn't matter that you have to master all of the tools, because there will be a different team members will be always there to help you out, but you must familiar with all these tools, at least one on each phases. Okay, you must have some knowledge on SQL, you must have some knowledge on Linux, which is very much important. And as most of the files which we create for CI/CD, we should have the knowledge of YAML. Okay, like if you're going to create a deployment file for Kubernetes, you need to define into the YAML. Or for GitHub Action, you need to define all your steps into YAML file. So also you have some little bit knowledge about how you can write the things into YAML. Then also you must have little bit information about your operating system, because the tools which I have discussed allows you to deploy your application not only into your one specific operating system. It also allows you to work on multiple operating systems like Windows, then Mac OS or Linux. Okay, it allows you to work with multiple platforms. And for that, and one more thing which we also know, that how you can use the power of script. Okay, like for Windows you must know bash script, for Linux you must know shell script, and for Mac you have the specific script for that. So these are things which you must know before starting the career in the DevOps. Okay, now the second advantage of DevOps is that with DevOps you can easily scale. Okay, that's why we need this DevOps like thing. Then it also improve the collaboration, as I said. So these are different advantages which you can have as a DevOps. That's why company are finding DevOps engineer, and that's why there's a huge demand in the DevOps. Okay, and now let me uh okay. So if you have any kind of doubt, you can still ask me in this a comment section, so that I can discuss it at more particular way. No, there's no problem you need to ask. Okay, Vinod Prabhakar asked, we deploy new code, it was unsuccessful. How to roll back it and what is the impact? Okay, so there are multiple deployment processes there. Okay, like there's green and blue green deployments there, then canary is there. There are multiple, options are there to deploy. Like for one case, suppose you had deployed your application and something went wrong. So there is one option there which will going to stop each and everything. Okay, but there's one more option that will going to restart the thing. A- so there are multiple options are there, multiple strategies are there to deploy your application. Or the thing is, if you want to roll back, so you can also easily roll back, because we are maintaining the repositories, we are maintaining the versions, we can easily roll back. The impact will be there, like you need to make your application down for a while, until unless your problem is not solved. Okay. Ah, Deepak has asked, is networking experience relevant for DevOps? Yeah, I will say that you must have some familiarity with networking things, like how DNS work, how you can use port mapping, how you can use uh, different DNS, and multiple things which is required for networking like thing. And I won't say that you need to be expert in even in networking as well. There's a whole bunch of team is already there which will going to work on network. But the thing is, DevOps is the middle person who has the knowledge of each and everything, but not in specialized way. It's like a polymath. Okay, polymath is like who knows all each and everything, but not at expert level. But if he can alone manage a lot of things, so DevOps is a polymath like thing. Okay. 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 So Harsh has asked me one question, like, can you define DevOps for me, like in a shell? Okay, of course. Uh, as I said at the very beginning, like DevOps is a philosophy. Okay, and in DevOps, it involves some of the process. Like in daily life, we have you need to manage your time in order to do some bigger task. So planning is very much required. Okay, so when you're going to plan first, then you're going to act on it, and something went wrong, you will going to learn from that particular experience, and then you will going to again plan, and then again you're going to act. So this is how DevOps is you can apply into your real life. Hope you understand, like what DevOps is in the real world and how it works in the software development way. Okay, and I will thank Harshras for asking this question. Deepak Khanka also. Okay. If you have any more question, you can ask me. I will be live. There is no question. Okay. Now let me sum up before ending this session. Like I have discussed, like what exactly DevOps is and what are the advantages the DevOps is offering, and why companies are looking for DevOps engineer. Why there's a huge demand of DevOps. Okay, and I've also discussed that what are the tools which are involved in you know uh, creating the whole DevOps pipeline. Actually, which I have shown here in the paint, It is basically a DevOps pipeline, okay, where we have some bunch of tools which come together to complete the whole process, to complete the whole software development process, starting with planning, then to deploy your application. This is a kind of simple DevOps pipeline. Okay, so if anybody is interested in DevOps, I will say you can enroll this course, uh, this Geeks for Geeks course, where you're going to learn different tools which I have discussed here, that how you can use this tool to create an application from 0 to 1, from planning to deploying all of the things. So here you're going to learn a bunch of tools, like we're going to start with source code management, as I discussed, like Git and GitHub. Through Git we will be able to track the code, like if you're with the help of with the help of this Git, is allow the people to work remote. Okay, it doesn't matter where you are sitting, it doesn't matter where you are. It allow us to write a code uh, and push it over into GitHub repository. Okay, this Git is very much important. As you can see, the code is there. Then there will be remote jobs will started. So all of the things, this Git is very much important, because there is no need to sit in the office then work on into your application. So the limitation of sitting up there is now removed with the help of this Git like thing. And where you're going to learn about Git and GitHub, then we're going to also discuss GitHub alternatives, then how repositories is created, how you can push your code, then different states of file, tracked and untracked files, the different components of Git. Then there will be different branches will be there, which I'm going to discuss here. And these are different GitHub commands which will also you're going to learn here in this course. Then package management, as I said, that there will be a container. And why do we need the container? Because like suppose if you have created something in your application, sometimes it happens that if you want to run the same application into your friend's account, a friend's computer system, but it doesn't work because the set of you know uh, libraries which you have used, the version that you are used are totally different into your friend's computer. So the problem will be there. To sort out this problem, we have these containers. The Docker containers is and the demand of this container is increasing day by day. It is one of the tool which is highly used. If you're going to look for Stack Overflow survey, you will find that this Docker Kubernetes are most demanding tool, which you must know, of course, because either you are going for DevOps career or going for other career. This, if you know this Docker like thing, it will be put a great advantage over you. Okay, then we're going to understand Docker alternatives, then what exactly the Docker image is. Then Docker file is the a sequence of command which it will going to run for running your application. Then Docker Hub, then how you can pull your Docker, then bunch of Docker commands which we're going to learn. And then we're going to focus on next week, which is CI/CD. CI, which means continuous integration, CD means continuous delivery. And here the tools which I'm going to use here is Jenkins, GitHub Action, which through which we're going to create different triggers, so that whenever a developer like you make changes into the repository, that should be reflected into here into the production. So we're going to see how it works. Okay, then we will have container management, where we're going to use container orchestration tool like Kubernetes. Okay, we're going to create the pod, then we're going to create the replica set, replica controller deployment, and things like that. Okay, and then we're going to learn about cloud services. And here in this particular course, we're going to learn how you can do the things with the help of AWS, like what are the service they offer, what exactly AWS is, and how you can use the AWS into your AWS into DevOps pipeline. Like there are some bunch of services which I have written over here: code commit, code build, code deploy. This is somehow going to work as I discussed earlier. Like code commit is the alternative for GitHub. Code build is for build tools. Then code deploy, like you're going to deploy whatever app you which you have built somewhere. Then code pipeline is there to link all of those tools into one altogether. Then Cloud9, then Cloud Shell, these are different services which we're going to learn into the AWS session. Then we're going to have Terraform, which is infrastructure as a code. So here you're going to uh, prepare infrastructure. Okay, and then we're going to have Monitor. There you're going to learn about Prometheus and Grafana like things. So if something went wrong into your system, it will going to put an alert. So these all those things we're going to learn here. One more thing which you have to understand, like as I said earlier, that you must know have some skills of Linux, you must have skill of YAML, SQL. You must also some have skills about analysis. Okay, as you're going to use the dashboard using Grafana, there will be a lot of charts will be there, so you must know how to apply your chart theory or whatever you know, and to make it more presentable. Okay, if you have the knowledge of storytelling or whatever data analytics skills, that it will going to look better over others. Okay, at last week we're going to work on projects related to DevOps, like DevOps pipeline with AWS, CI/CD pipeline with GitHub Action, Jenkins. Then how you can make your application a containerized version. Then how you can deploy application using Kubernetes, deploy AWS services using Terraform, and so other things. So this course has bunch of things which I think you should know about it if you want to switch into the DevOps career. Okay. It is actually paid course. Okay. Yeah, as I discussed some of the projects which are there into this GitHub, this Geeks for Geeks portal. These are the projects which you can put into resume so that it will look better if you're going to look for DevOps job role, because they will going to see that what are the tools you have worked on. Okay, the more the tools you have learned, the more you have uh, you know better app, better project, the more chance that they will going to hire you. So I will say that you must, again I will going to say that you must at least know one skill, one tool set into all the phases of DevOps, either it is in build or it is in deploy, whatever. At least if you're going to know one, it will be better for you to learn their alternatives. If you know, like a GitHub repository, like Think GitHub, you can easily know how to do the things with code commit. Okay, if you know how to push your Docker image into Docker Hub, you can simply put it into QI, which is a Red Hat version of Docker Hub, or you can simply put it into uh, ECR, Elastic Container Registry, which is again another alternative of Docker Hub. So if you know one tool of in each phase of the DevOps pipeline, this will be advantage of you that you can show into your resume. Okay. Okay, Azad asked one question, that is DevOps good for freshers? I would say not for freshers, but yeah, you can still go for it, because if you know, uh, like if you're building application for 4 to 5 years, suppose, then you will be expert in building the tools. But if you're a fresher, you are still not having that kind of thing. So if you have little bit knowledge of now each thing, each tools, there is no requirement of expert in each tool. So as a fresher, you can choose this job role as a DevOps, because you will get an option to learn such a wide varieties of tools. And if you think that you are expert in some tools, you can go for another job. Okay, so it is a good option for the freshers, because specialization knowledge is not required here. Okay, uh, any more question? Like if you have any kind of doubt, I will be happy to clear it out. Uh, the prices for this course is around uh, 12,000, This is you know this is a 2-month program where I will going to uh, share my knowledge over this DevOps thing for 2 weeks on weekends, Saturday, Sunday, or for 3 hours. Okay, and it will be like 6 hours in each week. Okay, so here you're going to learn a lot of about DevOps, and I will also work on different DevOps projects, so that I will going to build a better resume for you all. Okay, Any more question? Okay, I think there's uh, no doubt. I will thank all of the participants who have attended this live session. And if you have any kind of, you can ask me even in LinkedIn, or even you can put it over comment. Okay, I will going to reply later on. So I'm going to put the link of this course which I was talking all about. Thanks, Patil. Thanks, Azad. Thank you so much. Thanks, Yafi. So, if you don't have any kind of doubt, so I'm going to end this session. Okay, no doubt is there. Okay, thank you, all of you, spending time with me and understanding the scope of DevOps. Hope you understand. Thank you, Dominic. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to end this session. Okay, best of luck, each of everyone, and I hope a better future for you. Okay, bye.